I think sort of always being not in a starring role in any tour I was a part of. I mean, for one thing, it helped me learn how tours work, how important everyone is on the production you're with, not just the people on stage. So I was in a band called the Bicycle Thief that opened for the Chili Peppers. So I've known how this particular tour works since the 90s. So I think that's been something a unique experience I have. I did half of my touring, or a majority of my touring as a younger person, kind of, not having to bear the burden of being the star of the show, so. It was always fun to some degree. The way we recorded it was sometimes frustrating and arduous because, if we were coming up with a song from scratch, just by nature of my instrument, I would go last often. So when you're writing a song that has no vocals, and it's kind of up to me to come up with some sort of melody or, something more tonal than just the bass notes and the chord progression, it was often sort of, where do I go? So there was lots of me sitting there kind of biting my teeth. But I mean, that's still fun. I would rather be, struggling on a guitar part or coming up with something on the spot than doing just about anything else one can imagine.
Right.
So I mean, it was always fun. It was really fun to go to Hollywood again to record. We recorded in, probably as central of a location in Hollywood as you can imagine. So that felt nice.
Cool.
To kind of go, see Hollywood Boulevard every morning on the way.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you probably would have for sure heard a different album, but just the same as if we had started a day early, I would imagine. But yeah, for sure, because for one thing, because of Brian's busy schedule, he could no longer devote 6 or 8 straight weeks to our record like he was going to back when we were going to start originally, which was February or March. Flea broke his arm. It took a long time to recover for him because the bones healed properly, but he had a lot of nerve damage. So he had to, it was just sort of, he couldn't rush it because, he would start playing bass when he was finally cleared to play bass, and he would get numbness, and then you got to stop or you could damage it more. So, we started in September, I think, which is a year ago now. And I think all the time that we all had extra to reflect on the songs that we had already written, Brian and ourselves, that helped solidify the selection of what we wound up working with when we got to it. Whereas had we started 8-9 months earlier, we may have worked on more of the things that we were just working on. But with that 9-month break, it really kind of helped separate, the ones that Brian was interested in and the ones he felt like he could help or be a part of. And then likewise for Anthony, because of those breaks, when we actually started working with Brian, we would do it in 2-week chunks. So I think that allowed for Anthony to go away for 2 weeks on his own and write lyrics to all the stuff that we were coming up with brand new. Whereas had we done it in a 6-week, 8-week chunk earlier in the year, he may have felt a different kind of pressure. And it would have been different for sure. Best things about them and this band, and I think why perhaps we resonate with people for so long is, I mean, at the same time, they are just as childlike as you could imagine. Like sometimes I'm sitting in a room and I feel like I'm the old one, like I'm the one who's like, guys, come on, calm down. But and they've really been able to, in a very genuine way, hold on to the boisterous sort of, kind of jocular, goofy parts of who they were as kids. The impetus behind starting this band. I'm the first one to to second guess saying something like that, but I really feel like they are genuine with, like, they are the same people that they were in 1983 that were, it's crazy.
I don't think that it's unbearable anymore.
Well, let's see. I didn't start off as a guitar player. I started as a drummer. So I always think of Stone Gossard being the guy, just because he was such a simple rhythm player. And I always thought, I want to do that. I was not a lead-minded guitar player. But once I was always interested in, the normal Guitar Hero people like Hendrix and Jimmy Page and stuff like that. So Nels Cline is always someone that I admire. A guy named John Bryan who played in LA as well once a week. That he plays more than just guitar, but I always liked his guitar playing. John Frusciante has always been one of my favorite guitar players, which is strange because I play in the same band.
Yeah. She looked like Alice Cooper. I don't think that it's so personal.
We had a really long walk to the stage at the last show in Norway, and everyone was saying "Hello Cleveland" the entire way. The other night we did a live taping in Berlin, and Chad walked out before the rest of us. There was just some confusion, and he was out there on his own, and we were like, I don't know. That was one thing that happened.
Well, thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for your good questions.
Thank you.
Thank you on your silver